Reddit. What's the funniest thing that a random stranger said to you that made you die laughing inside? Once had a guy walk past me, point at my shoes and say I have those shoes, only mine are completely different. And he just kept on walking. Watched a guy walking to class at my college years ago saying get the heck out of my way to a pigeon standing in his path. The pigeon quickly waddled off to the side. I was at a gas station filling my truck with gas and overheard a guy yelling at his dog to move over in the car so his wife could get in. It went like this: man to dog, come on, get in it. Middle so mommy can get in. Dog starts yipping back at him as if she's arguing. Man to dog, quit arguing me, I told you to get in the middle, you don't always get your way. Dog again yipping back at him. Man to dog, if I have to tell you again, you're not getting your jerky. Holds up a stick of beef jerky. Dog yipping while reluctantly moving to the middle. Man to dog, okay, promise no more arguing, me and you. Be a good girl. Dog yipping again. Man to dog, okay, seal it with a kiss. Dog gives man kiss. Had me dying. I'm in the bathroom at work washing my hands and one of the professors that I don't think I've ever actually spoken to comes in and starts washing her lanyard in the sink. I try to make small talk with work people even though I suck at it, so I try to strike up a conversation that goes down as follows. Morning. I spilled coffee on my lanyard and now it's all sticky. Blah, that's the worst. At this point she turns off the faucet and looks at me completely deadpan with eyes that said she wanted to feed me my own innards and said, I think genocide is worse. So I awkwardly mumbled yeah, okay, bye, have a nice day, and quickly escaped. It's turned into a running joke in my office now though. Anything from the printer being out of toner to a fire drill on a cold day is literally worse than genocide. When I was around 10, my dad took my brother and me to a Sox game at Fenway. We get to the park and I was putting mustard on a hot dog from one of those mustard box push-down nozzle things. This random guy next to me goes, yeah buddy, lather that thing up. 10-year-old me thought it was about the funniest thing I'd ever heard. And I still chuckle when I think about it as an adult. An old man on the street with a big jack-o'-lantern grin on his face and two chihuahuas under each arm loudly proclaiming to no one in particular, I used to carry grenades. Now I carry dogs. I was doing tech support over the phone for an internet company at a call center. I got a call from an elderly woman because her internet stopped working. After checking remotely that the modem was working and that there was no issues on her area, I was scheduling a visit from one of our technicians when she suddenly says, oh, I know what happened. The cat was playing around the router yesterday? Right. You think it took a cable or something? No. He probably took away the Wi-Fi. You mean like he moved the router? No. He probably took the airwaves of the Wi-Fi. You know how cats see things we can't. He surely say the Wi-Fi signal. Grabbed it and took it away. It took all my willpower to not laugh in her face and finish the call. Years ago when queuing up for movie tickets with my family, the attendant asked the ages of our 4 kids to see if they could all get children price tickets. I announced their ages: 7, 9, 11 and 13. Without missing a beat, the stranger behind us declared, that's an odd group. Something I overheard as 2 kids walked past our caravan park site, a rumbling boom of distant thunder. Kid 1, I like thunder. It sounds like a 200-year-old dog who's retired and helps old people who are blind to get around. Kid 2, silence. Kid 1, you know? Kid 2, but why is it retired? Kid 1, because it's old. Kid 2, but it's still helping blind people. Kid 1, silence. No so much said to me as overheard. Walking down the street with my fiancée after dinner. A man and woman passed us. Very clearly I heard the man say, and that's the second time I got crabs. I just keep a special little comb at the house now, just in case. I'm not sure of any particulars and have thought about that interaction often. So many questions. I know they heard me laugh though. Just the other day checking out at the Cracker Barrel, the older gentleman ringing my wife up accidentally said, with all confidence, have a thank you. I was at a 50th wedding anniversary party and there were lots of elderly people in attendance. An old man was standing next to me and said it looks like a hecking graveyard in here. I literally spit my beer out. We were outdoors. The kicker was the guy was close to the same age as everyone else. I used to be a smoker. One time a scruffy looking man asked me for a light. I told him I only had matches. It was very windy, he said. That's okay. There's a trick to it. You light the match and then suck down real hard. You get a mouthful of sulfur that way. But you gotta have a trick when you're going 30 miles an hour on top of a tank. Someone called me, said piece of pizza, in a Mexican accent and hung up. Worked at a smoke shop that sold electronic cigarettes years ago. A customer came in complaining that the new flavor made her pee smell funny. I couldn't keep a straight face when I said I wasn't sure if that was related. Then she says, "Oh. Well, it could be an STD or something, I guess, thanks," and walked out. Met a guy while camping a few years ago. He told us, matter-of-factly, that he was a redneck hippie back in the 60s. He was there for the sex and the drugs. We still crack up about that. At a festival and sitting around the campfire when a very intoxicated man kept saying, "I need to borrow your fireplace." He wouldn't let it go, despite being right by the fire. Turns out he needed a lighter for his cigarette and was so drunk that he forgot what it was called. My laughter was not internal. I died laughing right in front of him. May of 2000. Passing through Norwood, Louisiana with a friend. At around 2 in the afternoon we stopped to gas up / grab some snacks at the most potent gas station known to man. A young man, extremely agitated, comes in with frustrated gestures and angrily shouts / gestures at the cashier with an accent that is beyond stereotyping. Beyond anything I have heard before. "Where the goddamn Wally Melions at the top of his lungs. Approaching hysteria and tears. I was in a large college seminar, so I never knew the people that I was sitting next to. This professor was known for being a bit of a jerk. Constantly switching up assignment due dates and tacking on extra work and/or additional material to upcoming exams last minute. Professor did something jerkish like the above and murmurs of disapproval / annoyance spread through the aisles. The dude next to me leans into my chair and says to me, "This is a load of barnacles," in the same voice as the fish guy from SpongeBob that says the line. It was just perfect and unexpected. I was rollerblading down a hill too fast. Painful. Sure. But not excruciatingly so. A old man walked by and said in the most jolly voice, "Is your behind okay, young lady?" I was shaking with laughter. My behind was okay. Yes. I was seated in a crowded New York subway car when the guy standing in front of me passed gas. It was intense. The man sitting next to me held his nose and said, "How now, brown cow? You and your sister look exactly alike." My sister was adopted from Asia. I'm so white I freckle instead of tan. I just about died of laughter. Because the woman actually meant it. For context, she'd met my sister a couple weeks before. But I hadn't been there. And she'd mistaken me for my sister. Little girl to me after I explained my service dog helps me when I'm sick. "Oh. So he's your dog Tor?" Me. Trying to keep a straight face. "Yes. Exactly." Riding the public bus in Vegas about 13 years ago. I'm sitting kind of in the middle. There's this guy sitting kind of in the front having an extremely animated conversation with another guy next to him. The other guy looks like he's barely acknowledging what animated guy is saying. We get to a stop and animated talker guy gets up but other guy doesn't. It was then that I realized that they weren't together and that this dude was just talking in a semi-crazy way to some rando dude on the bus. But animated talker doesn't want to get off. He wants the other guy to acknowledge that he was right about something. The other guy is just nodding and trying to get on with his life. But this lunatic just kept yammering away. There gets to be some audible grumbling from the other riders because this dude is now holding up the bus. He finally goes to get off. Dude makes it almost to the sidewalk when he does an about-face, gets back on the bus and yells out in another thing. At that second, nearly everyone on the bus yelled at the guy to GTFO. He obviously wasn't expecting it as he kind of recoiled and skittered away. The guy does kind of this awkward half-run thing directly into a psychiatrist's office. It was at this moment that an older gruff guy who was sitting in the back and quietly reading a newspaper, this entire time pipes up and says, in a thick East Coast sounding accent, "Going to see the psychiatrist, go. Frickin' figure." Everyone on the bus, including myself, just busted out laughing. A fine young gentleman was once introduced to me as Big Dick Kyle. When I was a freshman in college I had a pair of rainbow bell-bottoms I made and wore a lot. I walking through the city back to the dorms when a guy rode up behind me on a bicycle. He was old, had long, scraggly gray hair and a bright red and yellow windsuit on. He rode beside me for a second, stared and then yelled, "Miss, your pants are hot, hat," and then rode away into the sunset. It was so random and hilarious. Every time I wore those pants, my friends would run up behind me and yell, "Your pants are what?" Man, I respect women. I would never ever hit a woman. But I'd cut a bitch up. Homeless man, I ain't gay. I'd never let a man blow me. But I'd blow him for money. Same homeless man, he's my hero. I was riding the T-Subway home one night with a Spike's Junkyard sandwich of the buffalo chicken variety. A clearly drunk guy with his girlfriend said to me, "Are you going to face frick that sandwich?" To which I replied, "Yes." He then turned to his girlfriend and said, "Babe, let's get some buffalo chicken." When I served, I had a table of about 20 Asian people. The head of the group shook my hand and introduced himself as Tony. Tony the Tiger. He tried to sound cool and tough, but all I could think of was the cereal mascot. I have a 5.5-pound Chihuahua. He's about as intimidating as a bunny rabbit. I was walking him on the grass along the road. A couple of walkers were coming near me and my dog started barking at them, so I picked him up. The guy says, "Thank you for picking him up. We were really scared." That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed.